Welcome to Canine IQ Dog Reactivity for Dog Trainers. This video is a short teaser for the course covering the component Learned Helplessness in Dogs, which sadly is a terrible affliction that is often caused through poor training methods and more often than not a poor understanding of the stresses dogs face in learning how to deal with pressure. Hope you enjoy it. So learned helplessness can be described as a real or perceived absence of control over the outcome of a situation. So how we deal with the dog determines how the dog actually progresses through a stressful event. So if we don't do enough foundation work, we've got a problem. So learned helplessness can be triggered by a location, a physical stimulus, or a training methodology. So if an environment is highly aversive to the dog and we keep putting the dog in that environment and try and train it, potentially the environment can be overstimulating to the dog and it just isn't able to control the outcome of the situation. Same as a physical stimulus. So if a dog that's having an effect on your dog, if you train continuously in the presence of that dog and the response or the effect is so overwhelming to the dog that it actually can't problem solve, then you again putting the dog into a learned helplessness scenario. Likewise, a training methodology. So if you put the dog into a situation that through your methodology that you're using, whether you're using punishment or whether you're trying to deflect the dog's attention, if the dog doesn't understand how that leads to get to self-control, we again run the very real risk of producing learned helplessness in the dog. So most reactivity training, from what I've seen, is carried out from the outset in the presence of the aversive stimulus, and this absolutely makes me cringe whenever I see it. So you bring a dog out and you start to train it in the context of other dogs because you want the dog to actually get a different behavioral response towards the other dogs. Doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result is a definition of insanity. Putting the dog in a context of being around other dogs as a way of teaching the dog how to behave being around other dogs is putting the dog in a proofing environment, which is disastrous. We need to start the dog in a teaching environment, then extend it to a training environment, and then eventually put the dog around other dogs in a proofing environment where the dog is now learning how to apply learnt behavior to a really aversive scenario. We do not start the training process in the context of other dogs. That is irresponsible dog training. So not enough thought is given to teaching how to deal with aversive triggers in general, and this is what this whole presentation has been about. Teach the behavioral response that we want the dog to apply through back chaining, apply it as a foundation behavior, and then apply it to lots of other situations. So failure to teach foundation-based solutions prior to exposure to the aversive triggers has a high potential to trigger learned helplessness, and we do not want learned helplessness. We want the dog to go, tick, I've dealt with emotional self-control. This dog produces a stress which I know how to overcome. So we're empowering the dog with tools to go forward. And if we follow the methodology that I've outlined today, you will never run the risk of getting a dog into a learned helplessness situation. Thanks for watching this video. If you like this teaser, I'm certain you will love the full courses. You'll find a link to the course in the description below. If you're interested, want to have a look at the other teaser videos as well. They're all free.